Stanley, for bringing this motion forward this evening, and I do urge the House to support it. Minister Naughton, Minister Coyne, both of you made a reference, and I'll quote from it, says, which I was kind of surprised in the speeches actually was, "It is important to remember that when a post office closes, 70% of the business transfers to a neighbouring office. But the knock-on effect of that is where a post office closes, 100% of the service has gone in the community. It just doesn't make sense." In 2011 census, it found that 40% of low pensioners' households in rural areas did not own a car or have use of a car. Closing local post offices for the sake of trying to save a few euros, while forcing people to travel where there is virtually no public transport, in my opinion, is a very cheap trick. 159 post offices we're talking about tonight. I think one is too many to close. 12 to go in County Cork. But out of those 12, it actually has a knock-on effect of over 34 towns and villages will be directly affected in those areas. I've also found a kind of ironic, it's something like strategic placing. Rockchapel in County Cork, your nearest post office is now going to be in Bosna in County Kerry. Very strategic planning, I have to say. It must be extremely facilitating for our elderly or our disabled in the country. The other, I suppose, thing that really, does affect the people in rural areas, but even as a service as the post office supplies. In your post office, you talk to your postmaster or postmistress. They help you with filling out forms. That's gone. They're paying the €5 off the ESB bill. That's going to be gone, or any other bill. We're losing services. Another worrying one is rural isolation. The post office was probably the last local little hub left, because the Garda station is gone, the pub is gone, and now we have possibly our post offices and shop gone. Some of these people living in rural areas, this might be the only point of actual one-to-one human contact once a week, or if they're lucky, or maybe once a month. You don't realise the actual detrimental knock-on effect of what's going to happen rurally when this public service, which is a public service. You mentioned, Minister, a while ago that one post office made 9 social welfare payments. It doesn't matter how many it made. They were public services. That's what we're supposed to do. I'll finish in this because I'm very conscious. All I will say is you're closing rural Ireland down, and I can tell you that loneliness in older people and people that are disabled can kill. Remember that.